In this video, I'm going to show you why you need to stop trying to be so productive, because instead of helping you, it could actually be hurting you. So, is this whole idea of trying to be more productive wrong? Well, yes, but that's only because people don't know what true productivity really means. You see, most people picture being productive a person that is probably cooking multiple dishes at once. You know, someone that is cooking something for friends, family, or their career. Symbolically, of course. And well, to the person who is doing all this stuff, it does feel like they're being productive. They're busy after all. However, the whole problem is with the idea of multitasking. You see, the idea of multitasking assumes that you have an unlimited gas tank. And well, this represents your focus, time, motivation, and all those factors. And if the idea of multitasking, the assumption was true, well, this would actually be a very good idea for you to do. Why would you not be multitasking all the time? That way, you would actually be extremely productive. However, as you know, reality is quite different. We have a very limited gas tank. And when you're trying to cook up many things in your life, the gas is going to be spread out on these different burners. And that means that the flame is not going to be as hot as it could be. And that's going to make the dishes come out slow. And that's even if they come out, because probably by then, the gas probably already ran out. And so what this really means to the idea of multitasking is that it is a very inefficient way for you to handle things in life. And at the same time, it's a very bad distraction because it makes you feel productive because you're doing all these things, but at the end, you're not really coming out with anything. And so what is the next step on this productivity evolution? Well, that is going to be focusing on one flame. And this is going to represent your passion. This could be your career, your side hustle, or your hobby, whatever that is to you. But as you start to realize, concentrating on this one flame, sending all the gas to it, it's going to make it really hot. And what this means to you is that you're able to come out with dishes, or results in this case, at a much higher pace than you could before. And probably at the same time, you're much more efficient with the same amount of gas because you're concentrating on this one thing. But of course, this isn't all sunshine and rainbows because you still have a limited gas tank. And so you're going to have to make a decision. Either you turn it down and you still keep producing, but at a much slower pace, or you say, F it. I'm going to keep going at this pace, and well, once you do that, you're gonna face burnout, and the recovery of that is not one I recommend. So what should you do? Well, the first thing you can do is smash the like button so that this video can spread to more people. But really, what you really should do is refill that gas tank, which in this case represents your focus. And you do this by taking breaks. And look, yes, taking breaks does take time away from doing work, but the consequences of not refilling your gas right now are much worse because either you face burnout or you have to work at a very inefficient state. And so what is the next step on productivity evolution? Once again, it's going to be to focus even more. And what I mean by this is that you have many recipes in your arsenal, many passions. And some are delicious, some are mediocre, some take too long, and some are very easy to make, but they're probably not as good. So you should start focusing on being extremely good at this one dish, whatever recipe you choose. And when you do that, you're going to realize that you will save a lot of gas because you are extremely efficient at this one thing. And because you're so efficient, you will also see that you're able to produce a lot more with the same resources that you had before because you're so focused. And because you're so focused on this one recipe, you will see that the quality of this is much higher than if you hadn't done this. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because you will realize that there is no more room for other passions, other recipes like a basketball dream, music, hobby, whatever that is to you. And because of this, you will realize that your life is going to be a little bit monotonous and there is no spice to it. And that could lead to a lack of meaning in life. So what should you do? Well, you should keep cooking this one recipe until you're able to make an abundance of it. So much abundance that you can't eat it all. And this is the starting point where you will start start to delegate things to others. You will grab some of your abundance and you're going to give it to someone, and in return that someone will give something back, like a better recipe, new ingredients, or more gas, which could represent, of course, research, advice, or new ideas. But once you have all of this, you're going to have more time, and that time can be spent on new hobbies that will bring back that little spark into your life. So what's after this? Well, what does refilling your gas, focusing on one flame, focusing on one recipe, and as well delegating things to others all have in common? Well, that you're thinking, you're strategizing, and you're using your brain. That is the lesson. So for example, if a dish is taking about 60 minutes to cook, what can you do to make that process faster, be more productive? Well, of course, think. You need to start to see, okay, if I was using cool water before, I can start to use room temperature. And now that shaves us 5 minutes from the total time. As well, you can start to chop your ingredients into smaller pieces so that they have more surface area and therefore can cook faster. And I don't know, that could be like 20 minutes off again. And let's say you don't stop there and you start to look into new strategies, new chopping techniques, or whatever. And that's gonna be into books, seminars, or research. And that could save you a lot of time, months, years, and even decades. Speaking of time, if you want a time strategy that is probably better than the Pomodoro, you should watch this video right here. Either way, I will see you on the next one. Stay sharp, Improvement Gang.